Hello YouTube, this is Darkon633. I'm back with another Transformers review. This time we're going to take a look at Autobot Broadside with his Titan Master Blunderbuss, which is a really funny name actually for a Titan Master or just any Transformers related character in general. Since it is a part of the Titan Returns line, it does feature the standard tech card as we've seen with the other characters, so that's really nice that it's another release with these kind of cards. And obviously it does include a weapon that is compatible with Titan Masters, along with a Titan Master, obviously. But anyways, we're going to take a look at the box. It has pretty much artwork for Blunderbuss attaching to Broadside. Same thing we see here, except we see the full body. Transfers in 18 steps and has a little bio on the top and so on. And for some reason has a Decepticon logo in both the side and the top, for some bizarre reason. It does include one other accessory, which we'll get to once we get into his vehicle mode. But before that, we're going to actually go to a little comparison with the other Autobot triple changers, since now Hasbro has now successfully released all three of the Autobot triple changers in updated form. So here is Broadside next to Sandstorm from the Generations line. Same thing with Springer. So it scales okay, I guess. He's definitely shorter than the other two triple changers, which is really weird, but at least it's nice to see an update for all three characters in general, so I appreciate Hasbro actually going ahead and do that. So now we're going to go on to the articulation points. Articulation includes swivels at the shoulders, and it does have an inner joint which allows you to move it just a bit, but it does kind of break up the design since you do need to pull out the shoulder piece in order to kind of move it a little bit more. He does have outward movement in the shoulders, swivels at the elbows, a single joint at the elbow. Hands can pivot due to transformation, but it's not really an articulation point in that sense. He has a full 360 head. Actually, not quite. It actually gets blocked, so it's very close to like the Astro Train in designs. And he can look up just a bit since it does maintain the same head design as we've seen with the other Titan Masters. He does not have any waist articulation, but he has ball jointed. Actually, not ball jointed, but kind of like pegged in legs. I forgot exactly what kind of leg joint that is, but he does have swivels at the thighs, 90-degree knees, and feet can pivot a bit since it's very close to the Alpha Trion kind of style legs. In this mode, you can take out his Titan Master, and if you wish to, he can sit in the gun. So that's kind of cool that you can still do that. But for anything else, since we're actually going to transform it into its alternate modes, we're actually just going to take Blunderbuss here and take a closer look at him. So it's got a pretty interesting design. He does obviously have the head at the back, as usual. And here is the head on its own. So we're just going to take Blunderbuss to the side and go on to transformation. We're going to take the gun out of his hand, and some of these steps are pretty self-explanatory, but there are some very interesting things going on otherwise. We're actually going to start with this aircraft carrier mode. First, we're going to move the arms to get them a little bit better to transform. This piece actually spring loads the actual side pieces of his head, so be careful not to press that button when you transform. But first, what we're going to do is take this piece, plug it in as if you're going to go to jet mode, but turn the entire assembly around, and now you got this done. One thing I don't like about it is that it does maintain some stickers, and because of that, and they are factory applied, they do have some problems with them being a bit misaligned, and due to the way the design is, they do kind of wear and tear over time, even during transformation, and that's the part I do not like about this. We're actually going to pull these like this, and just keep them in place for now, because we're going to collapse these shoulder pieces here. So it looks like this. We're going to move the hands into position, peg these down, so now we got it laying flat. What we're going to do is put away the hands. For some reason, I forgot that. And then, from here, there are some pegs on the blue part here. They're actually pegged into the hands right there. So we're going to turn them around, and they'll peg in. You do need to fiddle around with them in order to get them in place, but they do stay secure, so that's nice. We're going to move this piece here, and now it forms the side piece of the carrier mode. We're going to lay these like as if you're going to a jet mode with Alpha Trion, since it's a very close to Alpha Trion transformation design here. Peg them together, and then close off the panels. There's some really nice kind of ratchet joints. You align everything, and from there we have Broadside's air carrier mode. Now this one is definitely way out of scale to what the air carrier should be in terms of scale with the other Transformers, but it does look really nice, and on its own it can't really stay secure that well. So what you're going to have to do is pull these little pieces here. So it looks like this. And then do that. And there we'll have him fully in his aircraft carrier mode. And now that we got the camera situated a little bit better, as you can see, it kind of looks like it's flying, but in reality it's just kind of being held on to these little pegs that you pull down. But that's cool that you can at least do that, and it allows you to actually display it in this way if you so wish to. And as mentioned before, it does include one other type of accessory, and those are these really cool looking kind of mini aerial bot design little vehicles. It's kind of hard to see on camera since my camera's not picking up very well, but you can't exactly place these on here, so you can kind of reenact as if the aerial bots are kind of landing on top of Broadside. You could just put them in various different ways. There isn't really any way to secure them, from what I can tell. Oh wait, there actually is. On the actual piece here, there actually is a few areas you can actually plug on them via little pegs. So that's nice that you can actually do that. So we're just going to plug in them in random locations, since they actually are scattered throughout the actual aircraft carrier here. It's a little hard to actually plug them in though. But once you do, it should stay in pretty decently. So we're just going to plug them all throughout. So you pretty much get an idea here. And it will actually stay on secured, so that's cool that you can actually do that. We're just going to take these off, since now we're actually going to go on to his jet mode. To transfer into his jet mode, it's really simple. Once you start actually changing it into this mode, we're just going to take off these aerobots. Unfortunately, these can get lost very easily, and from what I could tell, there isn't a way to secure them inside anywhere to kind of store them, so you just need to put them on the side, maybe put it in a drawer or something, make sure you don't lose it. What we're going to do is put these away. And now, we're actually going to keep it this way, since this part will actually form the jet. We're actually going to plug this back and lay it down. We're going to unpeg this from the body here. Pull the wings. Pull down this panel. So it looks like this. Turn these around. And from here, there's like these little notches that you're actually going to plug into the sides there. So they look like this. So we got this so far. We're going to plug these side panels back into the sides there. Pull these into a kind of resting position there. Pull these back and down. Remove the fins, so we get them laying flat as well. So we got this going on so far. Next we're going to pull these, and then from here what we're going to do is take these little pegs. We'll actually peg onto the little empty gaps back here, and from there, once we get everything moved into position, we're actually going to have him fully in his jet mode. Now for this mode, unfortunately, seems to be unanimous by a lot of other fans. It's definitely not a great looking mode. As you can see, it just looks really strange, and it just doesn't look that good. For what I could tell, there really isn't any landing gear, and just the overall design itself is kind of ugly. You can actually open up the canopy and put Blunderbuss inside if you wished. We're just going to plug the gun into the little area there. So now you got it fully armed up, but in the overall design, it just does not look very good. Since it does have pegs from the sides and so on, since it still maintains the pegs, I guess you can plug all the aerobots on the sides if you wanted to keep it here, but it just does not look that good, and unfortunately it just seems like triple changers have a tendency to have one mode or two that just does not look that good compared to another mode, so it kind of sacrifices it, and that's just unfortunate what we've seen with multi-changers. So overall, if you're a fan of triple changers or been getting the triple changers up to this point in releases, then this is definitely a worthwhile pickup. It does look really weird in the plain mode, and the overall design may not look the most appealing since it does look rather bland, especially since the colors are a lot more dull compared to what we've seen with a lot of other Transformers. Another thing is that it's not accurate to the animation model for Mattel almost in any way, but it does have this really nice stylized design for what it's worth, and the fact that at least it does look enough like Broadside to fit in with the rest of the Transformers collection, since I think this is pretty much the only Broadside we'll be getting at any point, since it pretty much does what it needs to do, even if it doesn't look that good in all of its modes. So I definitely think this is a worthwhile pickup, especially if you've been collecting everything so far. With Blitzwing and Octane finally getting updates, it's going to be nice to actually own all the US released triple changers or multi-changers in general if you also include 6-shot, since it's going to be nice to finally have them fully in collection to round up the G1 cast. I got this from Amazon since I have not been able to find it in my stores, and for once I kinda didn't want to spend the extra to get it directly via BBTS, so luckily Amazon was able to stock it. Anyways, please comment, subscribe, and check out Hero Club and Hirotaku. Also check my Twitter under Darkon633, and don't forget to check down the other channels down below. Please check the little bell at the bottom of the screen and receive my content go up as soon as possible. I'll be back with more Transformers reviews, but for now, I'll be seeing you later, YouTube. Bye.